There is the bell, and that means soccer is in session. What is up, everybody? My name is Madison Crews, and welcome back. Now, before I get into what this episode is going to entail, make sure you guys go and check out the girls episode that was just posted earlier today. Make sure you check that out. That's going to give a preview for the girls matchup this Friday for SDH's Game of the Week. And yeah, just like the girls in this episode, for the boys, it is going to be very, very jam-packed. I'm going to be giving you guys a recap of everything you might have missed from SDH's Tuesday night throwdown, where Northwest Whitfield tied Dalton on the road 2-2. And then I had the opportunity to talk to head coach Chris Leone, who is the boys' head coach for North Gwinnett. And yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. But first, a quick word from our sponsors. Soccer is in Session is presented by Kaiser Permanente. Live well and thrive. Let Kaiser Permanente take care of the rest. Hey Atlanta, U.S. Soccer is moving its National Training Center to the ATL and hosting our first national team soccer doubleheader. The 9th annual She Believes Cup presented by Visa kicks off Saturday, April 6th at 12:30 p.m. at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Get your tickets now to support the U.S. women's team against rivals Japan, followed by Brazil versus Canada. Secure your seats today at ussoccer.com/tickets. Again, that's ussoccer.com/tickets. Now, I'm going to be taking you guys back to Tuesday to give a bit of a recap of everything you might have missed from SDH's Tuesday night throwdown. Now, Dalton was coming into the Northwest Whitfield match on Tuesday after beating Johnson's 31-game unbeaten streak. Dalton beat Johnson at home during the Hall County Whitfield County Showcase. They won 2-1. It was a crazy back and forth game at Dalton on Tuesday. Northwest Whitfield and Dalton tied 2-2 at the end of the game. And I mean, there were moments in the match when I was sitting up in the booth, like, completely jaw-dropped by how crazy the game was. And you can listen to Jason Longshore on the call for that game on soccerdownhere.mixler.com. And after the matchup, I got the chance to talk to head coach for boys soccer at Northwest Whitfield in Isael Gutierrez, as well as head coach for Dalton, Matt Cheeves. Absolutely. Now let's move on to the boys.
Yes.
I mean, a hard-fought match between both sides. What did you see from your guys in this game?
It's a battle. It's a battle. I think they were competitive. I think they wanted it just as much as the other team did. We didn't come out flat, which is always a good thing. This past weekend wasn't a great weekend for us, but we were able to respond with a huge rivalry. We know how big Dalton is, and we go from there.
Absolutely. And, I mean, even going up and then coming back down, tying it up, and then going down and then getting the goal again, that shows the resilience of your team. I mean, what was the message going into halftime before you went into that second half and how hard-fought it was?
At halftime, it's the conversation of we can compete with these guys. We have, they do it all the time at the weekends. So come high school, for some reason, we come out flat. And today at halftime, we're going in and it's like, hey, we're able to. And that was the message at halftime. Clean up a couple of things, capitalize on the chances we get. And I think, we got away with a couple of chances. They didn't capitalize on them. They didn't finish there. At the end of the day, that's part of the game.
Absolutely. And moving on, you guys will face off against River Ridge this Friday. They are ranked second in the nation. How are you going to combat a team like that going into Friday?
We'll talk about it. Like I said, I'll say it and I'll scout. I'm focusing in on Dalton. Wednesday and Thursday, we'll talk about River Ridge. I know they're a good team. We've seen the record, we've seen how where they're ranked, and we slowly said, hey, let's focus in on Dalton this week, and then after that, we'll continue to go for River Ridge. And like I said, I'm excited for it, though.
Absolutely. Alrighty. Yes. Thank you, Coach. Alrighty, so we talked a bit last Friday about this upcoming matchup. Mm-hmm. How do you feel your team performed coming on from that huge win against Johnson and then coming in and getting a really hard-fought tie here at home?
Yeah, no, we're not real pleased with our game tonight, and we were sloppy, and we gave the ball away a lot, and we just never found our game. And, we missed opportunities, and we kind of let Northwest dictate the flow of the game to us. And so, we're disappointed. Usually after a tie, one team looks like they've won and one team looks like they've lost. And you can tell by all the body language out here what's what. But still, it's good for us. It means something in the community. But as far as the standings, it doesn't mean anything. And it's not a region game. So hopefully we learn lessons and we improve for the next game.
Absolutely, and you talk about that improvement. What lessons are you going to take from this game going forward into your next matchup?
I don't know. I have to wait and see. I'm pretty frustrated right now, and usually I just send the boys home and don't say much because the stuff that I'll say isn't always the most accurate stuff. So I'll really kind of reflect on it, and then tomorrow we'll show up at practice and kind of see how we feel.
Absolutely. I do want to mention the energy here.
Yeah.
The atmosphere here at Dalton. This is my first time actually getting to see a game here at home. I mean, talk a bit about the fans.
Yeah, we got excellent fan base here. Everybody comes out to support the team. They love the game here, and we want to do better. But even still, the boys give them a hand afterwards and cheer, say thank you. It really gets exciting as the weather gets nicer and we move towards playoffs. It makes a really great environment, and so we just keep working so we're still playing at that time.
Now moving on to this Friday, we have SDH's game of the week, and it'll be North Gwinnett going to Peachtree Ridge for the first region game of the season. Now, just as a reminder, it will be a doubleheader, so the girls will play at 5:30, and then the boys will play about 30 minutes afterwards. The time is slated for 7:30. But based off the game, it might change. But the Peachtree Ridge Lions varsity boys team is coming into the match with a 3-2 overall record, and they are trying to bounce back after a loss against Northview. They lost 1-0. Now, I will be talking to head coach Ryan Sutton, who is the head coach for Peachtree Ridge's boys soccer team. I'll be talking to him tomorrow. So if you want to hear anything from that interview, that is going to be included on the broadcast, soccerdownhere.mixler.com, so make sure you guys tune in to listen to what he had to tell me before the match. Now moving on to North Gwinnett. North Gwinnett is coming into the match with a 2-3 overall record. Now North Gwinnett is also trying to bounce back after a loss. They lost against Roswell 2-1 on Saturday. So they will be looking to try and secure a win on Friday. Now, I mentioned it in the open, but I'm going to mention it again. I had the opportunity to talk to head coach Chris Leone, who is the head coach for North Gwinnett for boys soccer. So we talked a lot about the first region game and the excitement and the anticipation of getting to finally play in this region game, and also hoping that the weather isn't as bad as it has been in years past. Alrighty, so Coach, let's talk about that loss against Roswell this week. It was a 2-1 loss. What did you learn from that match, and how is that going to help you prepare for the game on Friday?
So it was a tough game for us on Friday. Roswell came into it 0-5, and they're not an 0-5 team. They're a good team. They had just played some strong competition earlier on the season, had some tight losses and all that. But I don't know if my guys kind of looked at that and saw, oh, this is a team that hasn't won yet, and we should beat them easily or anything. And then we came out right at the beginning of the game. We scored in the first 2 minutes or so of the game. And I don't know if we just kind of let off the gas or something like that, or what happened. But we started playing very, very kind of frantic in the second half. And so I think we learned that we do a lot better when we try and possess the ball, and instead of just playing more direct and stuff like that. So we're going to try and attempt to control the ball a little bit better, focus on building up possession a bit more than we did in that game. So
absolutely. And this is going to be the first region game for you guys, which is huge. It's a huge time to start it. It's a huge one, especially against Peachtree Ridge. What has been the message to the guys leading up to this matchup?
So in our region, we only play each other once, which not every region does, but because we have more teams in our region and it's very competitive, we didn't want to play twice because we'd probably kill each other every game and not end up with a full roster. But with only 6 region games, if you're able to get that first win, it's huge in terms of qualifying for the playoffs. So really, it's just we have to come out here and set a tone for the rest of the season and get the first win and really put ourselves in a better position. So that's kind of what we've been talking about, knowing that, again, it may come down to tiebreakers later on. And so if we start off on the front foot, it's going to be a lot better for us.
Has it been a challenge having that many schools in one region and having to kind of see that? Would you prefer it to be more of a you play each other twice, or do you like the system where it's just one game after the other?
I kind of like just the one game. Like I said, with it being so competitive and every
Yeah.
game being just a dogfight, I really wouldn't want to go into the postseason, losing guys or something like that, or just having people banged up and things like that. So, I mean, it's tough having a lot of teams, but you don't want it to be non-competitive. Like we want to play a competitive region and competitive games to get us prepared for the postseason and all that. So,
Absolutely. And just a bit about Peachtree Ridge. They've been in this region with you guys for a little bit. What is that history there? Do you have a sort of history? Kind of where is that series matchup going to line up for tomorrow?
so it's kind of a rivalry between us, but I wouldn't say it's one that's like filled with animosity or anything like that. A lot of the guys know each other. A lot of the guys play with one another in club and everything. Like they're very familiar, and they've had our number for most of the time. I think over the past like 10 meetings, we've only got 2 wins against them. But it's always been a very close game, and it's going to rain tomorrow, and I think it's rained every year for the past like 5 or 6 years that we've played them. But it's always been a close game, and it's always been a hard fought game and everything like that. But this is just one where it's a tough one to open the season with, but it really kind of shows us where we are, as a team as well. So I think it'll be a good game.
Absolutely. The rain's going to be fun. The rains will be a fun time.
Like I said, it's happened, I think every year for the past 4 or 5. So we're kind of used to it. And now that we all have turf and everything, we're all used to playing on the same surfaces and everything. So hopefully it won't make too big of a difference.
Absolutely. And my last question for you, Coach, is doing soccer is in session. It's kind of a way to branch out and to allow everyone here on SDH and everyone all over who listens to get to know you guys and your teams a lot better. So what do you think is something that SDH fans should know about North Gwinnett boys soccer?
So it's always been competitive. Again, we have such a great community in terms of soccer. There's so much around us and everything. And, our record over the past few years has been relatively even at close to 500 or just above or something like that. But every game has been an entertaining game. Every game is there's something to see out there. It's full of great kids and great, parents and everything in the community that have been super involved. And it's just a great time to come out and watch a game or anything like that. So anybody who would want to come out and see us, it's good soccer and it's a great atmosphere. So, we're thankful that you guys are covering us.
Absolutely. And we're excited to get the chance to come up there. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I appreciate it again, Coach. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Once again, a big thank you to all of the head coaches who talked to me, Coach Chiefs, Coach Gutierrez, Coach Leon, for taking the time to talk to me after the games, as well as in between anytime you guys have during the school day. It's always fun getting to talk to all the coaches. And just as a reminder, we will be in Peachtree Ridge on Friday for SDH's game of the week. The girls will start at 5:30 p.m. and the boys will start at 7:30 p.m. And that is going to be on soccerdownhere.mixler.com. Now, before I give my thank yous, a quick word from our sponsors. Soccer is in Session is presented by Kaiser Permanente. Live well and thrive. Let Kaiser Permanente take care of the rest. Hey Atlanta, U.S. Soccer is moving its National Training Center to the ATL and hosting our first national team soccer doubleheader. The 9th annual She Believes Cup, presented by Visa, kicks off Saturday, April 6th at 12:30 p.m. at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Get your tickets now to support the U.S. women's national team against rivals Japan, followed by Brazil versus Canada. Secure your seats today at ussoccer.com/tickets. Again, that's ussoccer.com/tickets. Alrighty, well that's all I have for you guys for this week's episodes of Soccer is in Session. Thank you so much for checking it out, and make sure you guys come back next week for another for another episode of Soccer is in Session. Make sure you subscribe to Soccer Down Here wherever you get your podcast. You can catch it there. You can also listen for free on the Soccer Down Here app, and you can download that in your app store, and you can check it out at soccerdownhere.net. And if you want to follow me on social media, I am Madison Crews 7 on Twitter/X and Instagram if you want to follow me there. But yeah, thank you so much for listening, guys, and I'll see you guys next week.